Welcome to Bias Bash. I'm Lauren Green. A number of college protests from the University of Missouri to Ithaca College are starting a new debate over free speech on campuses nationwide. First Amendment advocates increasingly see universities not pushing for a diversity of opinions within their institutions. And here to weigh in on how the media is covering this story is Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative reporter and Fox News contributor Judy Miller. Welcome.
Hi, Lauren.
Those of us who studied journalism, in some of the greater institutions have a little worried about what we're seeing here.
Well, we should be worried. I mean, this is an extraordinarily pernicious movement. It's a very grave development for the future of American education and for the development of a free and open society that is used to exchanging views, even views that are sometimes offensive for people to hear.
And this just didn't just happen. This has been brewing for a little bit.
Absolutely. And I want to salute three journalists in particular, or writers or analysts. Peter Berkowitz of Real Clear Politics, Alan Dershowitz, the lawyer, First Amendment activist who's been writing again and again on this theme, and Heather McDonald of the Manhattan Institute, who have been pointing out that the movement, the trend towards political correctness on campus, has left the students less tolerant and more self-absorbed and more confirmed in their own viewpoint than ever before. It began, if you remember, with a move to disinvite speakers to campus, where Condi Rice, who worked for George Bush, even though she was an African American, the first African woman to become Secretary of State, she wasn't welcome on a campus because she worked for George Bush. The head of the IMF, a woman, wasn't welcome. When students began disinviting people whose views or political outlook they found objectionable, administrators and faculty did not step in and say, wait a minute, you're here to hear the point of view of people with whom you disagree. They yielded to the students, and this, I think, has led to their ever-increasing set of demands about how they want their institutions run.
Do you see the media complicit in this? Because I noticed the New York Times coverage in Missouri, that first eruption of it, never mentioned the conflict between the journalists and the students.
Absolutely.
I thought that was a big issue, and I read through the entire 2,000-word article.
Right. You can fault newspapers who have to write on deadline, but this was a story that cried out for a deeper explanation from the beginning, and there wasn't even a hint in the early stories that there might be problems with the administration of the university. Clearly, the university president was in way over his head, but on issues that had very little to do with those being stated and articulated by the students.
Now, you can see this happening, though, before, and on a philosophical level, if the highest good is individual happiness and individual, joy, then the highest evil will be somebody else who takes that away or offends you in that certain way.
Right. Well, if you want safety and spirituality and you don't want your feathers ruffled, go to an ashram. But don't go to a university. Your whole point of a university is to have debate and to hear different points of view. And if they don't understand that, they really don't understand anything about why they're there and what they're supposed to be learning. Maybe I'm so angry about this at the moment, and the media's complicity in helping to kind of fuel these movements, because I've just come from Asia, where I spent a lot of time with students, and they are so focused on getting an education, getting degrees, working together to advance free speech in their own societies and on their own campuses, because these are rather authoritarian, some of them, places. And to come back and listen to this whining and self-absorption and the need for safe spaces, get a playpen. That's not what a university is for. And if we lose track of that, we're going to lose track of why we're educating people to begin with.
And it doesn't mean that we can't have an honest discourse. We should be able to agree and disagree, but have an honest discourse where people do feel safe by expressing their opinions. That should be the first priority.
Absolutely. And, it's true that you want universities to provide safe spaces where students of minority persuasions, whether it's race, religion, ideology, feel welcome and are encouraged to participate. But there's a difference between that and shutting down your university if you don't get your way.
Right. Very interesting. Thank you very much, Judy Miller.
Thank you very much, Laura.
If you want to hear more media analysis on this topic, catch Media Buzz with Howard Kurtz, Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern, and again at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Fox News Channel. I'm Lauren Green, and thanks for watching.